Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Friday. It is the 28th day of April. We are wrapping this week up and this month up with National Historic Marker Day. You see those when you're driving, the historic marker? Today's the day to celebrate those. National Superhero Day today. Who's your favorite superhero? Just boom, right off the top of your head.
Deadpool.
Okay, I was wondering. I didn't know if you were going to say Batman or Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Before Deadpool, it probably would have been Batman, but only the Michael Keaton
Keaton Batman.
Yeah, geez, boy, we've gotten in arguments about that. Just leave the kid alone. He's just trying to enjoy the movie. National Donate Life Blue and Green Day today. National Bravehearts Day. Workers Memorial Day today. National Hairball Awareness Day. National Blueberry Pie Day. National Great Poetry Reading Day. And it is Arbor Day today. All of these things happening on this Friday. And I have a guest. I really wish he could have been a Movie Star Monday guest because he should have been. Actor Sean Whalen from Twister, from Never Been Kissed, a whole bunch of other stuff. He's working on his own movie right now called Crust. And it looks really, really interesting. I'm excited to chat with him about it. But he's got an Indiegogo where they're like funding it themselves.
Oh, okay.
And they're making it literally right now. We're going to chat with him all about it coming up.
What a year. With prices on everything going up, it's more important than ever to have a better credit card. Some people use a credit card that's not a very good one. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. A study shows Tylenol can ease existential angst. So if you have any of that, Tylenol, I guess. What is existential angst?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Somebody had it and then they took a Tylenol and they're like, I'm better. So there you go. Another study suggests that red meat might be unhealthy. Well, they've been telling us that for a bit. And then another study will come out saying it's good for you. So.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to stop eating it.
Yeah. And our final study for today finds that dancing comes naturally to infants. Who was doing this study?
To infants?
Yeah, dancing comes naturally to infants. They did a study with a bunch of infants, put on some music, and the kids danced.
Okay.
Our daughter, by the way, she's 21 now, and she would strangle me if she heard me say
it was
this.
so cute.
She was so adorable. She'd be in her diaper, and I remember it was Christmas time.
It was Feliz Navidad.
Yeah,
She
and
loves that song.
And then I was like, look at her dance. And then we played the song again. Played next song, nothing. Played that again, and she's dancing.
She loved that song.
Yeah,
it was so cute.
Back at Christmas time, we tried to get her to do it again, and she did not. I don't know why. Come on. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Did you know, Heidi, that sometimes, you get an itch, no matter how many times you scratch it, it just kind of keeps coming back? You ever have one of those things?
Oh, yeah.
Other times, one itch, one quick scratch, it's all done. So it's little wonder researchers from the Salk Institute discovered that not all itches are the same. Just talking about this has made me itch.
You're itching.
I am. The study discovered different neural pathways drive different varieties of itches in mice. I'm all itchy now. It is believed that itchiness serves a genuine purpose, an evolutionary protective signal.
You're itching all over
to prevent
the place.
Parasites from introducing hazardous pathogens. Oh, this is making me squirm. They say if a mosquito lands on your arm, you might scratch that spot. But if a mosquito bites you, its saliva will serve as an irritant, resulting in a reoccurring chemical itch. Both types of itchiness result in the same sensation, though. Researchers indicate that one brain pathway drives the mechanical sensation, while a separate and distinct neural pathway encodes chemical itchiness. Scientists say the research may lead to new treatment options for those who suffer from a range of chronic itch conditions. And we're done talking about itches. Scratch myself, and I'll be back in a bit. We don't know everything, but now we know this. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Kelly Ripa started a new live journey with her husband, Mark. Apparently, this is like maybe a week ago or something. Now, she confessed in an interview she was considering leaving the show back in 2017 before Ryan Seacrest came along. And then she decided to stay. She's been there since 2001. She just didn't know what she wanted to do. Anyway, apparently, when her husband came along and said, hey, I'll co-host, she's like, yeah, that's cool. Let's do that.
Okay.
So, we've been doing that for years, husband
Yes,
and wife.
we
doing a
have.
show. And writers for television, movies, and streaming shows have voted overwhelmingly to go on strike if no labor deal is reached before their deadline of May 1st. 97.9% of participating union members voted to approve a potential strike. If that happens, it would be the first in the industry since 2007 and could bring production to many shows to a halt. The 07 strike lasted 100 days, by the way, so... I don't know what's going on, but I guess good luck to you. We would all just have to learn how to get along without a show or two, and I think we could do it.
I think we'd be fine.
Big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com.
How much do you pay for your cell phone every month? If it's more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring in your current phone. iPhones and Samsung phones both work well with Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. There was a study that claims the best way to get a song out of your head is to chew gum.
Oh.
So that apparently works. Here's the thing that I thought was funny. I read this online, and one of the comments was, what if the song you're trying to get out of your head is the Wrigley Spearmint gum commercial? I was like, hey, that's probably not going to work as well then, is it? I can't think of how that song goes. Heidi, do you know it? You want to sing it for us?
No, not at all. But I do know how the song goes.
I know you do. I just saw a look on your face. I thought it'd be really funny to try to get you to sing. And then we've got one other thing we're going to talk about here. You ever heard anybody in real estate say the phrase, location, location, location?
Yeah.
Like that's,
Oh, yeah.
When it comes down to it, you're just looking for... And I would say that, the home that we bought, we love the location.
We love the location, yeah.
But to today's younger home buyers, curb appeal is the most important factor when choosing a home. Here's the thing I got to say, though. You can change that.
Right. You can make the curb appeal.
You can't change the location.
True story.
You can have the most beautiful home in the world, but if you're going, okay, but it's next to this giant, pit, that's not good. You're going to have to put up a fence to keep the kids and pets safe. But no, I would just be really cautious to think that that's the most important thing. But according to a survey of 2,000 adults in the United States, Gen Z, 47%, and millennials, 46%, were more likely to cite the appearance of the home, like the color of the home, the deck, a balcony, as the reason for buying that particular home. Now, Gen X, that's us, 35%, and baby boomers, 30%. Okay, I guess for the same thing, said that was the most important thing. Younger generations, again, 47 to 46. Older generations, 35 and 30. So younger generations were more interested in what does it look like. They were also more likely to purchase their home based on architecture and style. And then let's see what else it says. In case you're looking, make this part of your budget. The average homeowner encounters 4 surprises in the first year of homeownership, spending about $3,600 to address them. Oh, we found more than 4 surprises. We
love surprises.
Yeah, what next? Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
InsuranceChicken.com wants to know, how much are you paying for your insurance? I know it seems like a hassle to switch to a different company, but if you can save a few bucks, it's worth crossing the road to InsuranceChicken.com. We have several of the top insurance companies trying to earn your business. They do that by offering great insurance that is cheap. Okay, enough of the silly chicken puns. It's time to get serious about saving you money on your insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. This could have been a Movie Star Monday, but we've got him today. Sean Whalen. He's an actor. He's been in Twister and Never Been Kissed and many other movies, but now he's got a new film that he's directing and starring in, and he's working on it now. It's called Crust. Tell me about it.
Crust is a creature feature horror comedy about a lonely guy that lives in a laundromat. He's an ex-child star going through depression, and he's pulling out all the leftover socks that are in the dryer. He wipes all his bodily fluids on them and throws them in the corner in the back of his little sad room in the back of the laundromat. But one day he gets bullied. He cries onto that pile of socks, and that pain actually activates Crust to turn into a sock monster who avenges all of our protagonist's enemies. And unlike Little Shop of Horrors, my guy actually kind of likes it.
Nice.
He's dealing with a new relationship. He's dealing with a reboot of his old childhood show, but he's got to deal with Crust and his anger.
And based on a true story, right?
Yeah, it happened to my cousin.
Yeah, no, this is a fun idea for a show. I actually love that premise. It just seems like a whole lot of fun. So where did this idea come from for this movie?
Well, it came from I had just come out of a depression after my divorce, and I was coming out the other end, and I had a lot of feelings, a lot of anger and frustration of going through the depression, and I don't know why. And a lot of people said to me, "Oh, you should have had a pet." And I thought, "A pet? I couldn't even, put on my shoes. How am I going to how am I going to have a pet?" And I thought it would have been fun to have a pet that was very loving, but also took care of anyone who bothered me. And I thought, and I had pitched this idea a long time ago, and I thought, I'm going to marry those two things together. And so it kind of flew out of me like 3 weeks after that. It came out, and, the art came from pain again.
and we know you from being on screen. You've done a great job in movies like Twister and Never Been Kissed and so many other amazing projects. What was it like, in addition to being on screen, being behind the scenes as well as a director and the writer and, kind of really involved in this is your project?
Yeah, I mean, we're in pre-production, but, just juggling everything, it's like building a structure while putting out fires. But I'm up every day from 6 in the morning till 12 at night. We have an Indiegogo campaign where people can contribute, so you're working on that all the time. It's Indiegogo.com, and you just put in Crust. You can get a special thanks and be in the trailer. We have just hit some movie history yesterday. Alan Ruck signed on. First time he and I have shared the screen since Twister when we rode in the truck together. Danny Roebuck from Rob Zombie's The Monsters. Horror people will know Felissa Rose. So I've assembled the cast, but I really like being in charge finally, because as an actor, a lot of times you're just not. You don't know when auditions are coming in. You don't know, you do the audition, you have no idea when you're going to hear anything. So it's nice to be in kind of control of a project, I would say. I'd love that.
I love it. That's awesome. So when does the actual filming start? And if people do want to say, hey, I want to contribute, how do they do that?
Starting at the end of April, and we go for, we're doing a 12-day shoot, and you can go to Indiegogo.com and put in Crust. Even if you don't want to contribute the page, it's really fun. And there's so many perks that you can get, like a signed poster, all the way down to just a quick shout out from me. So it's affordable to anyone if you want to contribute.
I love that. That is really cool. I'm going to throw a link to make it really easy to find that as well. So anybody that is interested, I'll have a link in our show notes for today. Again, I think this is just a really fun thing. And I love the idea, because it's like an absurd idea, but I can already tell it's going to be a fun movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm shooting it in black and white. That's why it's like an old school creature feature fun. And, you kind of don't know where you are, when you are. And so it's like a fairy tale / horror comedy / creature feature.
And I read on here that you've never done a Western, but you've always wanted to do a Western. So is that in the future for you as well?
I don't have one yet, but can't you see me with covered in dirt and call me Cletus with a big hat? And
I love that. I think that would be really cool. I would love that.
Or just stick me in some stockades in the background, fellas. Come on, there's got to be something.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and I'm looking forward to this project because I think it does look like a whole lot of fun.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your time, John. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, Sean has a real fun project coming out. It's called Crust, Sometimes Life Socks. If you'd like to get all the details, and if you'd like to make a contribution, I've got a link to that Indiegogo page in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
What a year. With prices on everything going up, it's more important than ever to have a better credit card. Some people use a credit card that's not a very good one. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What was that, John?
Contrary to what you may have heard, redheads are not actually going extinct. So,
I've not heard that.
Yeah, somebody started that rumor. I think it was Heidi. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Women tend to strike matches away from themselves. Men strike matches toward themselves.
I do strike matches away from myself.
I do strike it towards myself. I don't know why I do that. I should probably stop. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Men and women who listen to similar music tend to better communicate with one another and have longer lasting relationships. That's why
There
we
we
get
go.
along so well. Another fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
During Elizabethan times, it was customary for a wife to wear her wedding ring on her thumb.
Oh.
How weird would that be?
That would be uncomfortable.
That
I
would
think.
be. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Riding a roller coaster can help you pass a kidney stone, especially if
I've heard that.
if you're seated in the rear car.
Okay.
So, all right. I hope I never have to find out. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. Yay! It's brought to you by Mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. The average family throws away 70 of these edible items every year. What are they? Not in this household. No way.
70
edible items. There's 2 on each unit that comes together. And crusts of bread.
Oh.
Yeah, we fight over them. Like, I get it. No, I get it.
No, we do not. In fact, I just threw away 2.
Did you
yesterday.
really? Oh, my goodness. Don't ever do that again.
Okay,
I like
I did
those.
not know you liked
Yeah, don't throw those away. That's the best.
Okay.
Mint Mobile question of the day. It must have been the kids that I was fighting for. Or did you just take them and throw them in the... Maybe that's what was going on all these years. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com.
How much do you pay for your cell phone every month? If it's more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring in your current phone. iPhones and Samsung phones both work well with Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Brazilian man was trapped in a sewer pipe after betting friends he could crawl through it and come out on the other side of the road.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you, man?
You know, it's always good when you get a bunch of people liquored up and
Yeah.
start betting what you can and can't do. That never ends in a bad way. Okay, it always ends in a bad way. Well, his friends promised to reward him if he succeeded. Well, they ended up calling the emergency services when he was stuck in there for over an hour. He disappeared down this roadside hole. Was in there for over an hour. Firefighters worked for 3 additional hours to
Oh
get
my
out.
gosh.
So he was stuck in there a total of 4 hours. When he got out, he was like, "Yeah, I told you I could get out." You owe me a beer.
I bet he sobered up in a big hurry.
Probably. Can you imagine sobering up and then going, what am I doing in a sewer pipe? Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Don't ever do that. Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Endangered occupations. Reddit went through and asked people, what do you think is going to be phased out or have already seen phased out in your lifetime? Paper boys. When I was a kid, I was never officially a paper boy, but my neighbor was, and I would help him with his paper route, and that, I guess, is something you don't see as much now. Back in the 20th century, there used to be small huts in parking lots where people would get film developed in an hour or so.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
In other words, judging by the advertising I see online, apparently proofreaders are a thing of the past. They probably are. Executive assistants. When I started my career, every low-level manager had 1 or 2 of these, and now you hardly ever see an executive assistant. The entire industry makes pricing guns. Everything in a store had a sticker on it. Oh, yeah, that entire industry that makes them.
Oh, yeah.
Because now they all have UPC codes. You don't need to put a sticker on there anymore. I never even thought of that. Door-to-door salespeople, cobblers, bike messengers, and projectionists at a movie theater. And the last one, radio disc jockeys. I hate to see that on the list. If you'd like to read all of these, they're in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
InsuranceChicken.com wants to know, how much are you paying for your insurance? I know it seems like a hassle to switch to a different company, but if you can save a few bucks, it's worth crossing the road to InsuranceChicken.com. We have several of the top insurance companies trying to earn your business. They do that by offering great insurance that is cheap. Okay, enough of the silly chicken puns. It's time to get serious about saving you money on your insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. Comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Our quote today is from Jim Rome. He says, if at first you don't succeed, quit. When life gives you lemons, quit. When the going gets tough, the tough just quit.
Wow.
Well, what a motivational speech that is. I don't think that's quite how it goes, by the way. I think usually the people who win are the ones that did not quit, just so you know. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. This is a cool story. A 1,000-year-old canoe discovered in a lake brings tribe members to tears. So a group of teenagers playing around at a pier in North Carolina discovered a 1,000-year-old canoe buried beneath the sand.
Oh, weird.
How cool is this, though? They said, I stepped on it. I thought it was a log. We tried to pick it up, and it never came up. So we kept digging and then just kept digging and going on. And the next day, we came back and started digging some more and just kept going. And then they discovered, oh, this is not a log. This is a canoe. They stored the canoe under their family's pier, and then they called the North Carolina Office of State Archaeology. April 12th is when archaeologists and members of the local tribe in the area got together to see this canoe. They brought the piece of history to land. The 28-foot-long canoe is made from pine, fully intact, and remarkably well preserved. For the Creator to allow us an opportunity to actually handle and touch our history is just a blessing, they said. I mean, it's overwhelming. This was Chief Michael Jacobs from the tribe there. He said, to think that you can put your hands on something over 1,000 years old that your ancestors actually made. And they said it was moving to watch them sit on the bank and cry tears of joy and sadness and tears also for a future of the youth. But it is really amazing to see this. After the canoe is preserved, it's going to be brought to a permanent home at the tribal grounds. That's where they're going to keep this. It is the first of many artifacts to be housed on the property, they're hoping. So.
Huh. That's really cool.
That is very cool. And I think it's cool that the kids were digging and they're like, what is it's a log? How many kids would have even kept trying to dig out a log?
Right.
But these guys were like, well,
I'm sure once they started digging, they saw it wasn't the shape of a log.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have kept digging for a log. But
something special about this
yeah,
log.
that's pretty cool.
There is a link to photos if you'd like to see the photos, but there's also a link to video if you'd like to see them unearthing this, and you can see it floating in the water and everything. I've got that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.